Anton Watson, NBA Draft Scouting Report. Anton Watson is a veteran Gonzaga Bulldogs front court member. Played on a lot of winning teams. He was on all the good Gonzaga teams over the last few years, and his role got bigger and bigger as the years went on. Just wrapped up his final season in college, and we believe he's probably going to be taken in the NBA draft. On our big board, Anton Watson is 53rd overall. You can see our full board over at NBA2KLab.com. You and I are pretty in line here. I had him 59th. You had him 60th. So right in Mr. Irrelevant territory here. Let's get to our categories. What is one word to describe Anton Watson?
Unspectacular. There's not if you like I don't want to say boring, but he is unspectacular. It doesn't mean he's not good. It's just like he cuts, he dunks, he grabs boards, plays smart defense, can post up a little bit, can score out of the mid post a little bit. It's threes at a I actually don't know what his 3-point numbers this past year were, but teams dared him to shoot a good bit, and he didn't always take him up on it, but he was a decent shooter.
He was. It it doesn't mean he's not good. It just means he's not spectacular. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, what did he shoot from three this year? Let me pull it up. He shot 41% from three this year, which matches what I had in my head. He's only a 30% shooter from three for his career. He has never shot better than 70% from the free throw line. So I think could be a little bit of a small sample size, just one hot season. But look, he played over 1,000 minutes for Gonzaga his last two seasons. He started 72 games, did not have a game where he didn't start. And again, like they won a bunch of games where he was in the rotation before those two seasons. So I think at minimum, he's a winner. I would say the one word to describe him that comes to mind for me is underappreciated. And I think I've been a perpetrator of this. I think when I talked about Gonzaga basketball the last couple of years, I made jokes at Anton Watson's expense. Like, how seriously should we take Gonzaga? Anton Watson's their best player. And in reality, he was really versatile and really productive and unspectacular every step of the way, like you said. But because he's unspectacular, I think that leads to people just completely writing him off. And the reality is he was too good to completely write off this past season. And maybe that will result in him surprising people into the NBA as well. Is he more likely to hit his ceiling or his floor in the NBA?
Say floor. I mean, he's not the guy that I would completely count out because, like you mentioned, he's been on all these great teams. Certainly has the work ethic for it. But my biggest hesitations with projecting him is he lacks elite athleticism. He's a good enough athlete, but I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be like what position you want to play him at. Wouldn't say he has like prototypical size for a 4. Don't know if he has the offensive skill set to be a 3. So yeah, I would say floor.
I said floor as well. He's like a tweener, right? He's too small to be a 4. He's too big and slow to be a 3. Are the shooting numbers real? You don't really know. But I think because he's in between all of that stuff positionally, it's going to make it really hard on him and more likely that he does end up the worst case version of himself than the best case version of himself. What's a team that would be a great landing spot for Anton Watson?
Miami Heat, just because they have a really good track record with older players. I mean, he's already 23 years old. They find those diamonds in the rough that really have some signs, like guys who were winners, guys who were productive in college who they can get the most out of.
Are we doing a little Heat culture Gonzaga Bulldogs comp right now? Like
That
winning
is
orgs?
pretty good comp, pretty good comp.
I don't hate it. I want to keep him on the West Coast. I don't know if you know this or not, Riley, but Anton Watson went to Gonzaga Prep before going to Gonzaga. And the Zags of the NBA to me are the Sacramento Kings. I view them as like fun West Coast basketball. I think they have been playing a tweener 4 in Keegan Murray and also Trey Lyles, another guy who's kind of in between a 3 and a 4 in the last couple of years. And that's sort of the model forward for Anton for me. I can see him being a poor man's version of those guys.
That's a really good pick.
Thank
I
you.
like that a lot, especially like seeing him make plays off of Sabonis and everything. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see it working.
it'd be fun. All right. What's his best statistical season look like numbers wise?
6 points, 3 boards, and I'll tack on like 1.5 assists too. This is an underrated passer too.
I went 4 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Yeah, just maybe semi-productive bench guy. That's all he's going to be, but that's okay. What is he most likely to be in 5 seasons? He could be a starter, a bench guy, a G Leaguer overseas, or a podcaster.
Overseas, I think he'll probably bounce back and forth in the G League and the NBA, maybe a two-way for a little bit before settling in to make some good money overseas.
So this one really hurts me. It's the first time I've done this. I think he's most likely to be a podcaster in 5 years. He's really old. That's the reason why. Like, I don't see Anton Watson as a guy that if it's not going to work out for the NBA, I don't think he's going to like chase his basketball dream for forever. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know him personally, but I think if he is faced with the options of like go be a role player in Australia or just go get a real job, I think he'd probably get a real job by the time he's like 26. So that's what I went with. I know it sounds mean, but I don't really think it is mean because I don't think he has the star upside to be an overseas, really a guy people covet over there. And I don't think he wants to grind it out for years and years and years if he doesn't have a role in the NBA. Most likely to. Anton Watson, out of every player in this draft class, is the most likely player to do what?
I'm going to play off yours. If there is an early retirement, most likely to retire early from professional basketball and go be on staff at his alma mater.
Ooh, I can totally see that. Oh
It's
my
so
God.
easy to envision, like 5, 6 years from now, Mark Few announces Anton Watson to join staff as director of basketball operations. And over time, he becomes maybe Dobo's a little disrespectful. Maybe he gets like a role on the bench or like one of those like secondary roles where he's not technically on the bench but can recruit.
I'm picturing like director of player development at
Yeah.
Gonzaga. Yeah. Or I could even see like if I could place a future on Tommy Lloyd hiring him in like 2 years, I would 100% do that. I said he's the most likely player to be at the NBA draft that's taken in the 50s and then have a long emotional moment hugging his coach. I don't know if Anton's going to be drafted, but I have this strong hunch that if he is, he will be in the building, just like in the general admission with Mark Few and many other Gonzaga members. Oh, this is fun, Riley. I'm having a good time. Thanks for watching this video. We have 74 more of these on the channel. Go check them out. The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.